Hi everybody, it's Tony Dixon from Cool Running Software. So I'm making this video here to show you how to add new customers and locations into Cool Running Software. Now something very important to remember inside Cool Running Software. Every customer has at least one or more locations inside Cool Running Software. So I'll give you an example. You could have one customer like a regular convenience store down the road. And that convenience store would be the customer, but it only has the one location, which happened to be at the same address. But at the same time, you could have a customer that's a large corporation, like in my case at Olmsted Ice, we had a large corporation called Mark's Discount Store, which is one of our biggest chains. And Mark's happens to be the customer or the corporate name of the company, Mark's Discount Stores. But then it had multiple locations, which I'll show you real quick inside my old system at Olmsted Ice. So if I go into here under my Olmsted Ice system, and I go to my customer list, I can do a search under here for Mark, and right there is my Mark's Discount Stores. This is a customer. When I click on it, I see multiple locations that I can also search inside the locations. So let's say I wanted to get to Mark's 15 and search. There's my Mark's number 15 store. I click on it, and then it goes ahead and gives me all the location information. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to go ahead and add a new customer with location. So you go up, what you do is you go up to customer and you go to the customer list. And right here, this happens to remember to do search. So I'm going to hit I'm going to clear my filters out. So here's got the entire customer list. I'm going to click on add a new customer. So I'm going to go ahead and make a name up, ABC Food Stores, which is one I've used many times as examples. ABC Food Stores. I have multiple different categories set up in my system of different types of customers, which I've discussed in another video in the admin area review. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this particular customer happens to be a convenience store. You control setting up these different type of categories. For the delivery options, non-specifying what zone it's in. Again, this is all setting up all your zones is set up inside your admin area. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this place in Elyria, Oberlin. That's like the default for the customer. Default pricing. There's multiple different tiers of pricing that I can use. So if I picked one of these default tiers, it would use the pricing from that default tier for those products. So in this case right here, I'm just going to use tier number 3. Print sell price on the receipts. That is the retail price. That is the wholesale price. Okay, so yes, I want to have that price in receipts, but if I choose no, it's basically going to put a bunch of X's and saying just give the quantity delivered. I'm going to say yes. Print retail price on the receipts. No, I don't want to print the retail price on the receipts. That's the retail price the store charges to the store locations. Moving on here. Default billing. Okay, when I say default billing, this is the corporate billing address. Sometimes it could be exactly the same as the location address. So I'm going to go ahead and make one up here. So I'm ABC Food Stores, and I'll just choose this address, Homestead Falls, going down the road. And down here, it's basically choosing default information for all the locations that are coming up. So require proof of delivery, that's when you snap a picture of something when you take the delivery. Is it taxable, yes or no? I'm going to say no. I can add some billing notes in here, some default order notes, which we'll discuss later. Default payment methods for this location. I'm going to say that this place normally signs for it, and I want to use terms 45 days. And for the locations that I'm picking up, I'm going to say they're all going to be terms. That's the only options I'm going to give the driver when he goes out to the location. When I'm done, I create the customer. All right, so that just created the customer, but we haven't created any delivery locations yet, so that's what I'm going to do next. Oh, name already exists. ABCD Food Stores. We'll let that finish. I'm sorry, hold on one second. Sorry, I had it right here. This is the customer name, ABC Food Stores. Create the customer. Okay, so that's creating the customer. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of a lag in my computer here at my house. All right, so ABC Food Stores. This is the customer, and down here it's asking, I'm going to start creating a new location. All right, so down here I'm going to call my first one ABC Food Stores number 1. This is what the drivers are going to see inside the handheld. Enable for routing. Right here, this is like a function that makes it so if this customer is routed on a regular basis, you say yes. If you make them call at time, you say no. I'm going to say yes. Private labeling. If this happens to be a company that you want to override the company default billing address on the receipts, you can override it with one of your private labels. Again, I discussed that in another video. Extended properties. Now this right here, extended properties, is where it's going to import into your accounting software. Now there are different companies that have different accounting softwares. In my case, it was QuickBooks. I'm going to call it ABC Food Stars. AB. This part right here has to make sure that it matches up whatever is inside the accounting file. Now you can go ahead and tell it to print, or if it has a sub account or whatever. This is all stuff here that I personally will help set up. Delivery information. Now it's picking up the defaulted address that I was using at the customer level, like the corporate billing address. But I'm going to use a different billing address, different delivery address. I'm going to use that as a delivery address. This is what the driver's going to see in the handheld. Again, it's picking up the customer default. I'm going to say this one here is actually in a different delivery zone. That's the zone that it belongs in. Valid delivery days, you can uncheck the days that they're closed. And that'll actually show an icon in your route builder. It's going to automatically look up the geocode, or you can put one in manually or disable it. Driver notes, this is what they're going to see inside the hand notes. I'm sorry, my typing is bad today. Okay, that's what the driver sees when he pulls up the customer's driver notes. Now this is different here. Default order notes is what pops up every time this location is scheduled for delivery. So it pops up and follows every single order that goes to this customer. It's very helpful, especially for your office when they're taking orders, that this is something that's very important about this location that everyone needs to know. I'm going to say opens at 12 p.m. as an example. So this right here will pop up when this customer tries to place an order, and the driver will see it as well. And we just keep following the tabs. Pricing. Now let's say you're actually using surcharges inside the company. You can go ahead and apply a surcharge. I'm going to say that there's a $5 delivery fee on this location. We also have other options up here to override the customer default settings. It says inherit prices from customer, which is tier number 3. But I can override it and use a different tier if I want to. I'm just going to keep it there. Print sell price and receipts. It says inherit from customer. Again, you can override it. Print retail price, so on and so forth. Billing. Right here we need to assign what export group they belong to. I'm just going to put A. And you can see right here it picked up the terms from the customer level. So right here this customer is set to sign for it at all times. But let's just say in this case, I'm going to say, you know what, this customer is different from all the other ones. They're going to pay COD at all times. Cash and check is for the options the driver has. Cash is the default payment method, and they're not going to get any terms. It says here, bill to the customer address, again, which is up here. Well, let's say we want to deliver to the delivery address. I can tell it to do that. Taxable, yes or no. What sales tax area? Do I want to take a picture of something on the receipt? So all these different options. So once you're done with these bottom tabs, you hit save. That location's been saved, but now you have more tabs up here that you can go through to add more options. We can add a purchase order. I can add a blanket purchase order for this location. That purchase order number will go on every single receipt that comes up. Contacts, I can go ahead and add the contact information in. And list that I'm the primary contact. And if you have auto emailed receipts turned on, you can have automatic receipts turned on. Save that. Now down here is probably one of the very most important parts right here is the products. The task feature, I'm going to make a separate video for that. But then you have products. I'm going to assign what products that this customer normally buys and make sure that the pricing is set properly. So I'm going to click on products, and I'm going to assign products. Now here's the entire product list. I'm going to go ahead and pick a couple products. I'm going to pick 20-pound bags and 40-pound bags. And I'm going to click OK. Now even here you have more options. I can go and click on 20-pound bag. Now it's picking up the tier number 3 defaulted price, but I can override it and say it's $4 a bag. Now this here is a private label surcharge. I'm going to make a separate video to describe what private label surcharges are. You can see right here, it overrid the default price. Down here for this 40-pound bag here, I'm going to say, you know what, that price is fine. So now this location has all been set up. I know it's a lot of steps, but there's a lot of different options that Cool Running has as far as setting up locations to have them set up properly. Now, if we wanted to go ahead and add a second location to this customer, I can click on the locations right here, and I can actually add a new location and just go through the same process all over again. And I'll actually do it a little quicker this time. ABC number 2, enable for routing. QuickBooks, I want to have to import to ABC number 2. Delivery information. I'll just use that address. They're closed on Sunday. Driver notes. This one opens at 11 a.m. Let's get checked in. Okay, pricing. I'll add a $12 surcharge. Billing. I'm going to select this first one. Sign. Expert group. That's fine. Save it. Okay, so now down here I can put in a PO number if I want, but I can put in contacts. And then save that. And products. And I'll just say they just buy 20-pound bags. And I don't like the $230 price, so I'm going to click on the product, and I'm going to override the price. All right, so that price has been overridden. Now I've done entering everything I need for that location. If I click on locations, you can see here I have 2 separate locations underneath the one customer. Okay, so that's adding a new customer and locations. If anybody has any question on that, let me know. It does take obviously like any system, it takes a little bit of practice, but once you start entering new customers and locations, it's pretty seamless. And this system gives you a lot of different options as far as setting up your customers with product pricing, surcharges, delivery, billing addresses, so on and so forth, and also with delivery notes and default order notes. So again, if anybody has any questions on this, please let me know. Thanks.